We who are for securing the border and even deporting illegals, we're called xenophobes and worse. But we're going to get a very strange defense, very strange help from Barack Obama 20 years ago. Welcome. I'm Doug. This is Doug in Exile. Won't you join us by subscribing? First, let's hear from this mean, xenophobic Barack Obama.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants.
Most Republicans that are considering any of these border deals are coming out to the left of Obama. Obama right now is saying what Margie Taylor Greene says. I just want that to soak in deep on all the Democrats and all the people that voted for Biden, that Barack Obama himself in this clip used to believe.
We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law.
When I show clips of illegals coming over our border, they are disrespecting the rule of law and they are undermining the rest of us who follow the law. And I just want anyone who might flag this video to remember, I'm quoting Barack Obama, a guy you voted for. So before you flag my video, tell me about how you voted for a xenophobe.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
I don't know where that guy went, but if Biden is carrying his water right now and Obama is secretly running the country, Obama has changed to a brand new wide open borders policy, a mass reorientation, a mass migration organized by who knows who. Here's Charlie Kirk. Because this is all going to lead to the Mayorkas impeachment. Charlie Kirk, the unity behind closing the border is the most promising development we have seen on the right in years. This is because of three major reasons. And remember, we've documented most of these. Here's the most important one. Number one, Elon Musk liberating X/Twitter. I told you guys about this last year. This is the single biggest development in political history. He secured free speech on the internet in a way that many companies would not. Thanks to this platform, we have a fighting chance to challenge the media and expose what is actually happening on the border. So number one, the truth gets out largely only through X. Number two, the political popularity of Trump. Trump becoming the presumptive GOP nominee has helped to elevate the border as a dominant and winning issue. Even McConnell knows this. So McConnell's trying to pass these soft bills on the border and they're getting rejected because of Trump's messaging, and Trump isn't even in office and he's winning. Number three, Governor Abbott's willingness to reject old Bush era Republicanism that were for open borders. By the way, don't forget the amnesty that Ronald Reagan even granted during his term. So we realized this was Lucy in the football. We got jacked. We went and kicked the football and the left moved it and we fell on our backs. That's Reagan and Bush. And that policy's over. And now Governor Abbott is in Texas fighting the good fight. Abbott leaning into the border despite a disappointing Supreme Court ruling is exciting and promising. I'm going to touch that Supreme Court ruling because Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett decided wrong, but specifically it's Amy Coney Barrett who's considered the losing vote on that. Just to put it into context, though, here's Rep. Thomas Massey. Everyone's overthinking this. Congress can render the 5-4 Supreme Court decision against Texas irrelevant by simply, 5-4. So John Roberts voted on the good side. It's just Amy Coney Barrett who joined the three liberal women. The court decision against Texas irrelevant by simply refusing to fund Biden's removal of the border security measures. So when Biden says we're going to use the government to go and cut the razor wire, Congress can go in and vote and defund it at the purse level and say, we're not funding that. It's really that simple. Yes, it is. Now, here's a clip from La Jolla which I love. You guys know San Diego is my favorite place in the whole world. And so here's a boatload of illegal immigrants crashing onto the La Jolla shores and walking into one of the richest, snobbiest areas in all of California. And these people are all voted for the guy that opened the borders.
They got kids with them too.
I didn't realize, oh my God, there's a child.
Yeah, they've got kids. Think about the security checkpoints we have at our airports, where people who come in there, what they have to go through to get into America with their passports. And there's a guard there looking at eye contact and making sure your passport matches. And these people just running in with an armful of kids into La Jolla and vanishing among the people. And even so, I just want to call out all the La Jolla Democrats that vote for this, how they're putting kids in danger. That, by the way, that vehicle that came in broke every law with how many people were on it, bringing kids, no life preservers carried in their arms. And now I want you to look at the environmental mess that this boat did. They abandoned the boat, which is illegal, on the rocks, illegal parking, and they left fuel cans that damaged the ocean. It was leaking into the water, and some good Samaritan surfers swam out, got the fuel cans, brought them on land, and they polluted with their clothing. And this is La Jolla. This is their collapse of their own values with environmentalism. So, Democrats do not care about the environment. They do not care about your safety regarding who's coming over the southern border. We're going to get to the impeachment now of Mayorkas. Here's Margie Taylor Greene. I stand with Texas, President Trump, and Governor Abbott. This is the way forward. The states must stand up to Biden regime and their blatant violation of our border laws. This is why Homeland Security Committee will vote to impeach Secretary Mayorkas next week. I am for all of the impeachment of Mayorkas. I'm just saying they'll replace him with someone else. The fish is rotten at the head is the problem. So yeah, get rid of Mayorkas. It's like the Hydra, though. You cut one head off and 7 heads come in its place. Here's more Margie Taylor Greene. Democrats are lying about House Republicans and securing the border. We passed H.R. 2, the strongest border security bill in history, and Democrats won't touch it. So remember that when Schumer talks about Republicans don't want to secure the border by not passing their bill, where they loaded up with pork to fund Ukraine, and they will not separate it from the border. And the Republicans are going hardline. They're pressuring Speaker Mike Johnson. You just stay focused on the border. We'll get that funded. Shut down the government otherwise. Democrats want a deal to let in 5,000 illegal aliens per day, which is 1.8 million per year, and give them amnesty, jobs, and the right to vote in our elections. Under this deal, that would allow in more illegal aliens in 1 year than the population of major cities like Dallas, Austin, and even Washington, D.C. By the way, we've already let in enough illegal aliens to counter the votes of 33 U.S. states. That's the conservative number. And the numbers get worse. And before you call me names or think of me as, oh, you're bad, you're insensitive, just remember what Obama said at the beginning. Go rewind and watch Obama. I'm repeating what he said. You can't allow illegals in. They undermine the rule of law. And some Republicans were in support of this law that would let 5,000 illegals in per day. And that means every Republican that supports that is to the left of Obama 20 years ago. Let that sink in. To the amnesty ones that are going, hey, we got to fund the government. We have to make compromises. Just so you know, they're to the left of Obama. That's how far this country has gone left Marxist on the border. Here's Bill Megulin. So the proposed expulsion authority wouldn't even be mandated until 5,000 people came across the border each day. That's a minimum baseline of 150,000 per month, or 1.8 million per year allowed to cross before a mandated crackdown. Highest Trump year was the year 2019, with 850,000, less than half the illegals came in over Trump than over this deal. And that's why we can't sign this deal. And that's why it's largely dead in the water. Because this, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm making a big case. This is a popular issue for Republicans. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson buckling under the pressure. I stand with Governor Abbott. The House will do everything in its power to back him up. The next step, holding Secretary Mayorkas accountable. I didn't get the graphic of all the states that are supporting Texas, but it's about half. We have mostly the southern states, but some all the way up to Montana and stuff weighing in. By the way, Arizona is not on the list. Katie Hobbs is not on the list supporting Greg Abbott's thing. She could do the same thing on her southern border as Greg Abbott is, and she could take her state rights, and she won't do it. Elections have consequences. I just want to ask all the Republicans, why didn't you support Kari Lake? Here's Greg Abbott. My statement on Texas constitutional right to self-defense. I'm not going to get into all of this document, but he went in and laid in more layers of razor wire. The Supreme Court, when he said, oh, and the state, Biden cannot come in and cut it. The Supreme Court had an emergency ruling with Amy Coney Barrett saying, no, Biden can come in and cut it. And that's why the other guy said, oh, then just defund Biden's, the state border patrol people that are coming to cut the wire. And then Greg Abbott has refused the Supreme Court and said, I'm going to keep laying razor wire, by the way. Here's House Homeland GOP breaking. House Homeland Security Committee officially announces markup of articles of impeachment against Secretary Mayorkas. Here's the Homeland Security is marking up, just making sure that it's clean before it goes through. So Mayorkas impeachment coming soon. And then this is the House Judiciary GOP. Jim Jordan and Rep. McClintock demand information on 85% release rate for illegal aliens. So even when the Biden administration catches an illegal, they released 85% of them into the general population. Where are they going? Your city, town, neighborhood, schools, hospitals. And here's the document of the Congress of the United States saying, where are they? Meanwhile, we're seeing an uptick in fentanyl deaths. Our family, we're friends with a family in Pasadena. Their daughter just died of an overdose. She's 29 years old. She's homeless, but she died of a fentanyl overdose. And this is an investigation to Mayorkas where their blood is on his hands for what he let in through the southern border. It is not secure.
Every American is unsafe right now with these ridiculous border policies.
Do you think the secretary, based upon him knowing what is happening, letting people come into this country, do you think he has blood on his hands?
He is responsible for my daughter's death.
My daughter Ashley has left this earth 967 days ago. Today would have been her 29th birthday.
These are real families dying from an illegal substance coming up through the border. Everyone knows that's where most of it's coming from. Made in China, brought up formally through our border, muled into our border with illegals. And we have no way of stopping it without stopping illegal immigration. And we're letting the people through in unprecedented numbers.
I personally feel Mr. Mayorkas is responsible for opening that border. My family is broken. My heart is broken. And he couldn't even be here to face me today.
We've got to impeach Mayorkas just to send a message. I think it's largely a political message, but he can't stand. And here's more of people connecting the dots. Mayorkas is responsible for the uptick in fentanyl deaths in America.
How many more stories like this will it take for Secretary Mayorkas and the Biden administration to wake up?
Every single time an individual is allowed to enter this country unlawfully, Americans are less safe.
You, quote, said serious offenses against the public trust could lead to an impeachment.
This is about your rule of law and the public trust. What do you trust? What about those people I showed coming in on the boat unchecked? How much fentanyl did they have on them? We don't know. We don't know. That undermines the public trust, and that's what this is about. Now watch this Democrat. She cannot make eye contact with these victims that she's sitting next to.
Ma'am, do you see evidence of betrayal of public trust? If you need help finding that, ma'am, look to your right. There's two mothers in here that have had their complete lives destroyed, their families destroyed.
She will not look at them. Democrats will not look at them. Biden voters will not look at them.
When you take the oath of office as a cabinet member to well and faithfully execute the duties of the office, does that infer a responsibility to uphold the laws as well?
Anybody who takes an oath to take care that the laws are faithfully executed has an oath to take care that the laws are faithfully executed, yes.
Congress writes the laws, and the executive branch executes those laws. But that is exactly, absolutely not what Secretary Mayorkas has been doing when it comes to our country's immigration laws. In fact, he's been spitting on those laws and thus the Constitution.
Just remember the language that the left says about Trump regarding the Constitution, that he's undermining the democracy. The way the laws work, the correct flow of information, Congress makes the law, the executive branch executes. That means Biden's appointment of Mayorkas executes. We have laws on the books. This is all illegal. And the Democrats are spitting on the Constitution. I just wanted to underline that.
And it is now the duty of the House of Representatives to impeach Secretary Mayorkas and the Senate to remove him from office.
Kick this sucker out. Who will they replace him with? Probably Karine Jean-Pierre. It's not going to help. You have to change the executive branch to appoint a different border security to properly put someone in Mayorkas's place that will do the job right. Trump must win this fall. Every Republican, everyone who cares about that fentanyl problem has to vote Trump. I'm Doug in exile.